this is Sara and Doug Kisseberth from Drive Time Driving Instruction, and this is 15 minutes with Drive Time. The first question that we've been provided, Drive Time Driving Instruction celebrated its 10th anniversary in 2020. When did you first think about creating this business?
This all started on December 24th, 2009. We had a situation where I was working for another driving school and an opportunity fell through, and I came home and Sara said, I want the same experience you had when you were coaching young people, and let's start our own school. And I said, you're an idiot. And I said, starting from zero? And she said, yeah, we can do this. And now we're doing over 560 kids a year between Findlay and Bluffton.
In fact, this week, it was 11 years since we had our first class. So pretty exciting. Okay, next question. Has your approach to teaching the essentials of driving changed in that time? And really not, the essentials of how we teach has always been very consistent. We focus on the why. We don't just tell students, you need to slow down for this railroad track, but here's a story why you need to look with your own eyes to see that there's no train coming. And that's really stayed the same, but what's changed is the technology, the presentation of that information.
Yeah, for example, PowerPoints, Zoom simulators. We have a simulator in our office in Findlay. It's a trial program that the state is using that we have been a part of, and kids can come in and see how they change from before they start driving with us until they finish, and see what kind of progress they have in the areas that they're looking for. So, all right, next. Tell us a little bit about your locations and your range of classes.
Okay. Our primary focus is really Hancock and Allen County, but we have pulled students from a 6-county area. We've got students from Putnam County, Wood County, Seneca, Wyandotte. You know, they need us, we help them.
This year, actually, we've driven students from Toledo, Cincinnati, and Mount Gilead, where they couldn't get in for at least 4 months in with another school in their area, and they called us up and we were able to work them in within about a month's time, which in our industry, that's pretty good. So we're happy with that.
Now, typically we will go pick up the students. We did not drive to Cincinnati and Mount Gilead to pick these students up. We had an instructor who lived, and her folks were in Cincinnati, so she went home for the weekend, drove the student. We had the other two, we had them meet us someplace in the middle so that we can get back to our routes where we need to be.
Now, our classes have changed a little bit in that we also have expanded some of the classes we're offering. We're one of the few areas in Northwest Ohio, one of the few schools that offer JDIP, which is Juvenile Driver Improvement Program, which is for those students that have had at least 2 tickets or maybe had a little extra something special come up in the juvenile courts. Sara handles that for us. We also have an abbreviated adult program, which I think we're one of only 2 schools in Northwest Ohio that offer that as an availability. So we get a little bit of work out of that, but not a lot. So we do offer it though.
Okay. Next question. How have you found ways to help families fit driving instruction into their busy schedules?
Now, this from day one has been our calling card. When I came home and Sara and I talked about starting the business, I said, our target market is those kids that are too busy to take driver's ed. We want the athletes, we want show choir, we want band, we want FFA, we want 4-H. So we want the rural kids. That's our target market. And we know they're busy. We both grew up on the farm doing all those other things. And so we understand how it is. Our son also went through it. And that's one reason why we offer some of the different classes we have. We offer a Sunday only class through the school year. We don't do it during the summer, through the school year. We offer a get her done class after football season. 1 week, come and get it done. because those guys usually only have 1 week between football and basketball or football and wrestling. We also do that during the summer in our summer classes. And then we also have what we call a flex class during the school year, where the students come in and on the first day they set their own schedule. And we let them decide when the classes will be over the next 2 weeks, so that we try to work around as much of that stuff as we possibly can.
Now, we know we're not going to meet everybody's schedule. And so if somebody has to miss a day, we make it easy for them to make up. We teach the same curriculum on each day. So day 1 is always the basics. Day 2 is always being physically fit to drive, etc. So if they miss day 2 with their class, they can make up day 2 with another group. And it works out well.
Okay, do parents take the lead when it comes to scheduling classes, and what are some of the most common questions that you get?
Like Doug just said, we really work with the students. Our idea is that the students they're taking on a very adult role. They're going to be learning to operate this 1-ton bullet. And so they need to be able to handle their schedules. So we work more with the students than we do with the parents. And sometimes that's kind of hard with the parents, but that's our reason to do it, because they're young adults.
The parents also a lot of times bring in another layer of confusion. It really does make it harder when you bring the parents in, because now you're three-way triangle discussion instead of one-on-one. Okay, what do you need and how can we do that for you? Parents, the question that comes up most often is, how soon can you get my kid in the car? Right now, we're in a very good position that we're only about a month to 6 weeks out, whereas a lot of schools are 4 months, from what we're hearing from other people. Other questions, of course, is cost, and that comes up everywhere. Those are probably the two main that we get into. This time of year, we run into what we call the summer tsunami. Everybody comes in and wants to get it done now instead of getting stuff done ahead of time. They want to come in, they want to take class this week, and they want to drive next week. Well, that's not going to happen. The cars aren't just sitting here doing nothing. We have to keep our people busy, and so people have to be patient with that. And for the most part, coming out of COVID, I've really been impressed with how patient the parents have been. We tell them we're a month out, and they say, "Oh, that's not so bad," And there's been years in the past where, it's going to take them a month to get in the car. Oh my goodness gracious, that's not acceptable. But this year they have been really patient and really good to work with in this year.
Thank goodness. So, what's your favorite part of the business?
Our favorite part of the business is when they come in, is afraid of doing cones. They're just, you ask them in class and they all say, I don't want to be, they're all afraid of it. They all think it's going to be hard. Well, when I started out doing this 16 years ago, and the first company I was with, I asked them how they did cones, and they said, you'll figure it out. Well, I had kids flopping around like a fish on the dock. And I said, I need something mechanical. And I came up with a way of doing this that is very mechanical. And I went to a continuing ed meeting one day, and they said, how do you guys teach cones? I'm sitting there. I'm not telling everybody how I do it. And the next thing out of his mouth was, he described exactly how I did it. But you get the kids in the car, and they're all afraid the first day anyhow. And we do cones all 3 days. There's a lot of schools that wait until the last half hour, the last day, which I think is ridiculous. That's all right. It's better for us. But you get them in the car, and in the first 20 minutes, you work on cones, and they say, that's all there is to it? Yeah, that's all there is to it, if you do it the way I ask you to do it. So that aha moment, hey, that ain't so hard. We also make all our kids parallel park. Most schools don't do that. And so they get in the car. You can't make me. You want this piece of paper? Yes, yes, you will, and you will enjoy it. And once they do it, say, well, that wasn't that hard. I said, no, you just do what I ask you to do, and you'll be fine. So that aha moment, as I said originally, Sara when we first started out, she'd watched me coach midget football, but didn't realize why I did it. One night she went to a football game and 8 of my guys were standing around me. Now she says, now I know why. Now I get it. And now she has that opportunity to have those relationships as well. A lot of our kids come up to us walking down the street or see us at Wilson's or Lulu's or someplace, and they come up, hey, I remember when you drove me, and that's why we do it. I mean, it'd be nice to say we're getting rich here. Not going to happen. We try to keep our costs down as much as we can, but it's that aha moment and develop those relationships with the student.
What I like about teaching is when you have a class, we've had classes here in Bluffton that nobody was from the same school. We had 5 schools represented, and they don't know anybody. They're scared of each other. By the end of the week, they're best buds. And that's fun to watch that connection them make that connection.
Sometimes you even get a driving school romance developed.
There's one going right now. I did have another question that people ask. I see your cones. Can I use your cones? We set those cones out for our students, and we leave them up all the time so our students can come and practice. They're really not for anybody to come and use. We have our system, and students don't run over our cones with our system. If somebody comes in and they don't know what they're doing, they're going to run over the cones. They're not cheap. So yeah, and it sounds like we're being mean, but they're really for our students. So, sorry. Do we like working together?
Oh gosh.
Sometimes.
Well, it's like this. It presents challenges and rewards. There's a lot of nights where we're both in the office and we both want to use the same software, or I'm working on one thing, she's working on something else, and we ask each other a question, and the other one says, why? Why would you do that now? And at that point, I usually have to go mow the yard. It's just best for me to leave or her to leave, and one of us goes and does something different. Other times it works really well, but what we've had to learn is whatever happens in the office has to stay at the office. And by time, because a lot of times our phone is going off when we get home, text or phone calls or whatever, and it's really hard to leave it there. So that's the biggest thing for us. If we're working together, we got to be sure and leave it where it's at instead of bringing it home.
But the nice thing about it is having a common project to be able to work together, and that has been fun, to enjoy each other's company. We just can't work in the office at the same time. Do you have advice for other family businesses on work-life balance? Summer is easier for us for balance. During the school year, we really don't have much of a balance because the students can only drive at night. And so by the time I get done with my day job, get to drive time, you're getting home at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night and going to bed and getting up and doing it again the next morning. Now, during the summer, he can drive more during the day, and that gives us more freedom in the evening. So that, and we are new grandparents as of 7 months ago, almost 7 months ago. And so I have Thursdays off my day job. And so we take Thursdays, and that's our Peyton day. We get to babysit for Peyton on Thursdays. And so that's forced us to have a little more of that life balance.
That's almost our Sabbath.
It is.
Because we've got at least 1 to 3 classes going every Sunday because of trying to offer that flexibility. So Thursday, we generally both take the day off. I have a meeting at noon every Thursday. So I spend a little more time with her in the morning, and she spends more time with her in the afternoon. And that's our getaway.
Mm-hmm. So thank goodness. We have our main office is in Findlay, but we do have a classroom here in Bluffton to make it convenient. We're located on North Main Street, right across from the China Walk, 546 North Main Street. And you can go online to drivetimedriving.com. And on that website, we have all the information about when the classes are coming up. You can register for class right online. And then I always give you a call. I'll email you back to say, yes, we received your information. And then I'll give a call right before we start class to see if there's any other questions. But it's worked well having these 2 locations.
Our office is at 2469 South Main in Findlay, which is, if you're familiar with South Main, we're down there with Dollar General and China Rose Restaurant. So somehow we're always near the Chinese restaurants. I don't know what's going on here, but we're near the Chinese restaurants. So, and that's really where all the business is conducted. All we do here in Bluffton is just classroom. People think we're here. One of the frustrations is people think we're in the office all the time, but we're not. Good for us developing the relationship with your program. We've been in it 11 years, starting out at our other location, and it's been good working with the program, and the program has helped us in some ways, and other ways it's challenged us, and so it's been good to work with you guys, and I think it's a good program for young people or new businesses. And I congratulate Bluffton for being outreaching to outreach. And hey, we wanted to move locations, and it was a heck of a time finding a spot that fit our. Bluffton is hot. Bluffton is hot. And there's a reason it's hot. It's because the people in this town, they all work together, and it's hard to find good locations in this town because of that. And so when we started out, BCE was a good help for us. We used it for 10 years in that location, and we were able to find this one and turn it into our own. But it's been a good relationship for 11 years.
And thank you to everyone. It's been fun to talk with you. And even if you don't need driver's ed, come check out our website, drivetimedriving.com. Thank you.